I unashamedly, unabashedly serve high-income professionals, and there's a very important reason. We're going to talk today about McKenzie Scott, the ex-wife of Jeff Bezos, giving away $1 billion a month to charity. We're going to talk about some of the comments people have about this and why it is up to the wealthy individuals to make smart decisions with their money, and a little bit about why the wealthy give. I'm Justin Hitt with Sustainable Wealth Secrets. So Jeff Bezos' wife got a divorce settlement that puts her in a position to give away $1 billion a month to charity. Now, you might be saying, well, look, that's exactly what the rich should do. I see one comment here where someone says it's pretty primitive that we live in a first world nation where we have to rely on charitable contributions and the whims of the ultra wealthy to help those in need. Well, what's the alternative? The government give away the money? It doesn't matter how much money you have, whether you have $1 or $100 million. What you give is based on your own reasons. And the ultra wealthy don't give for the reasons you might think. McKenzie Scott, after the divorce, is not in the news, not a public figure, isn't doing anything that is strong, and also had don't get me wrong there. She's doing great stuff, but it's nothing that's in the news every day. A lot of successful people are in the news only if they're the number one person, like Jeff Bezos. Now, in this case, she's given away $1 billion a month in charity. I like the headline. It gets the attention. It shows and shows the interest she has in certain charities. There's 300 or so charities that are receiving these funds. But what else is she going to do? She doesn't need to earn money. She's already earned money as a spouse. Being a spouse and receiving money in a divorce settlement. Some people are saying it's easy to give away money that you got for free, but you don't get money for free being in a marriage. There's a lot of obligation and stress, and obviously they didn't get along, so there's a divorce. But what often happens when you have a large volume of wealth is that you give it all away through structure. Foundations, nonprofit organizations would allow you to give away $1 billion a month while not actually reducing the amount of wealth that you have. So I'm going to share a very important principle here, but I want to help you disconnect from the common thinking about money. So let's say you have $100,000 and you give away 10% of what you have. A lot of folks might look at that and say, well, that's great. That's $10,000. Wonderful. Not newsworthy. Now, someone with a net worth of $60 billion giving away $1 billion a month to a charity through an organization that they control is something that's newsworthy, but actually not as much of a struggle as someone who's giving away $10,000 of the $100,000 they earn. They may not have a net worth of even $1 million. But they both do it for their own reasons. Someone earning $100,000 a year who gives away $10,000 a year, they might structure it in a charity so that they can give away the money now, get the tax break today, but actually let the money earn some interest and then give away that interest over time. That's one model we've talked about. They might give it away straight out, just give it away. They might give it away as a gift, and the $10,000 might be split among children or something. But again, it's their own reason. McKenzie Scott, worth $60 billion giving away money, again, is going to have their own reasons to give it away. They wouldn't just give it away. They're not doing it to influence society as much as they're doing it for their own reasons, and that's important. Now, when the government gives away money, they often give away as part of some kind of program, but the key is where there's the money coming from. If it's your own money and income, that's one thing. If it's from your net worth, that's something different. But if it's taxes collected from the general population, that's a whole different thing. So when we want wealth and we look at others and we have expectations towards others for what they should do with their wealth, we actually limit our own abilities. So if we say, you know what, it's a shame that the wealthy, we're limited by the whims of the ultra wealthy. Well, you're limiting yourself by not understanding that giving away 10% of your income, tithing, for example, it doesn't matter if you make $100 a day or $1,000 a day or $1 million a day. 10% is 10%. And if you don't have the habit to do it when you're making small dollars, you won't have the habit to do it when you make big dollars. If you're in the habit of giving away money and you say, look, Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, McKenzie Scott, they're giving away their fortunes. That makes them a great person because they understand the average person. Well, you're limiting your understanding of the situation. If you form a foundation, let's say you have $60 billion net worth and you put those assets in your foundation, because the windfall of a divorce may not be directly taxable as income, but it does have some kind of tax complication in the sense that you're going to generate about $1 million a year. So you got $60 billion. Let's say it's cash. For every $1 million, you can generate about $40,000 in cash. So you're looking at taxes on this money. Well, if you put it in a foundation or charitable remainder trust, or you give it away in a way that the outside world can see, you could actually gain publicity. Now, I haven't looked to see if McKenzie Scott has a book, but if you're about to launch a book about your life as the wife of the richest man in the world, giving away $1 billion a month is a great way to ramp up on a book and simply get that money back. If you put the money in a foundation and then give it away through the foundation, while you have high administrative overhead, all the costs of giving away the money is a tax deduction. You may be able to, let's say you're facing a very large tax payment, you can give away money to offset your tax payment and reduce the out of pocket. Mega wealthy individuals, as well as just typical run-of-the-mill individuals, again, give away money for their own reasons. They aren't influenced by what others want them to do with their money. They give it away in such a way that it actually comes back to them. So if you are $1 million net worth, $20 million net worth, or $100 million net worth, talk with your CPA, your financial advisors, very often setting up a charitable organization, a nonprofit, setting up a foundation, setting up a scholarship fund will significantly lower your taxes. If you're in business, this is my area of expertise. You can use charitable giving as a marketing means to grow the value of your business. So you could give away $1,000 and get $1,000 back. Give away $10,000 or $100,000 and get the money back. Now, this is important. Depending on your mindset, you may look at it and say, well, if you're going to give away $1 billion a month in a way that gets you $1 billion back, doesn't that sound kind of greedy? It sounds like you're not really giving anything away. Well, you're redirecting funds. And if you get the money back, you can give it away again. And you can essentially give it away forever if you have a means of getting it back. See, the rich get richer because they know how to leverage and use money in such a way that accumulates the asset. And the poor get poor because they tend to just give the money away. But don't confuse the mindset or the approach of the general population. Bill Gates in 2010 urged fellow billionaires to donate at least 50% of their wealth to charity. And there are some that just gave it away. They didn't have any structure. They didn't have any purpose other than just give it away. And then when they died broke because that was what they wanted. But if you're 30 years old, 50 years old, or even 60 years old, you may want to structure your giving in such a way to not only help the charitable organization, but to provide the formula in order to continue to help that organization beyond its initial contribution. Because at one point, if you got $60 billion in net worth, it doesn't mean it's all liquid, but that's only 60 months of giving away $1 billion a month. If you want to give away $1 billion a month forever, or $1 million a month forever, or $100,000 a month forever, you need to do more than just give it away. You've got to set it up in such a way to perpetuate. A lot of colleges and universities, for example, have big endowments that they use for scholarship funds. So $1 million in the bank as an endowment will produce $40,000 in cash. If you give away 4 $10,000 scholarships, you can do that forever. That structure. If you're somebody who's writing a book or somebody who owns a foundation that does research that advocates something that you believe in, you can donate to the foundation, and the foundation becomes the trustee or the administrator of those funds and can very often use those funds to raise money and match contributions. Clinton Foundation, for example, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, they receive direct funds and contributions from outside parties. Again, it's let's look at it with a plan. Let's look at it with the tax impacts. Let's look at it with your cash flow. Let's look at it so that we can produce maximum value. And the very best value is that for every dollar you give away, you've created the opportunity to give away one more dollar. And you can do this forever. You can essentially, once you've determined how to give away those funds and help other people, and do it in a way that replenishes the gifts that you're giving, you can essentially do that forever. Now, I don't advocate you doing it publicly. There's a lot of organizations that can do good works and can work inside of this kind of model without you having to put your face out on top of it. There are principles of not standing on a street corner and telling folks how great you are. You can quietly and secretly give the money away, as some billionaires have. But again, it's not about giving the money away, no strings attached. That's just a linguistic shortcut in order to explain what's happening and to make it in the context of the news media, if that's what you so desire. But it's really about how do you make the best use and create the greatest value from the funds. Most nonprofits that the so-called elite have are available to somebody who's just got a high net worth. And many of these structures can help you with generational wealth. So you can set the money aside in a charitable organization or in a trust or in some kind of structure that would allow your children to have the benefit of the funds, or to have your favorite charity with the benefit of the funds, or your dog have the benefit of the funds perpetually. But don't just give it away. Don't feel the pressure from society to give it away. And don't think that the government needs to give it away. Because if they do, they're just going to take your money and you'll get nothing for it. You won't get publicity. You won't get the opportunity to have matching funds. You won't get the opportunity to see the great works of that investment. And eventually it will just completely deplete. So 2 takeaways here. Please be independent in your thought about how you give away funds, but consider it an investment in society or investment in your causes, and look to do it in such a way so you get the maximum yield for those dollars, so that you have a perpetual opportunity to give away more in the future. And you can really maintain wealth and grow your wealth by essentially giving it all away. The richest man in the world, Bill Gates, is not the richest man anymore. Jeff Bezos is. But Bill Gates was not for giving away his money. Now, there's nefarious reasons why and questions about the intentions. But ultimately, the money he gave away didn't reduce the wealth that he had. It just shifted the assets. Again, money is a means of exchange. It shifted the assets into a desired goal or objective, which over time replenished the original funds, not necessarily through money that he controlled, because often when you receive income, you have to pay taxes on it, but through organizations, through relationships, through influence. I would love to explore this topic with a handful of individuals who are serious about building a legacy for themselves and building value in those areas in which they feel strongly about. I have a few pet charities that I love to see do well, and I contribute generously to them. And I do so in a way that I often gain more than the value and benefit that they receive. Now, I'm not discounting the value and benefit they receive. Dollar for dollar, it's very useful to them. But I gain in ways that allow me to continue to contribute. And I could talk a little bit about that at my level, and I can show you examples at other individuals' level. And you can even use nonprofits and foundations and trusts to control assets. And those assets can cash flow and pay out to these charities long after you're gone. So there's an opportunity for legacy. Of course, if you have any questions about this, I'd be happy to answer your questions. I'm not a tax advisor, nor am I offering you legal advice in this conversation we're having here today. But if you have an immediate need, I can match you with a professional that can help you with structure. I can show you examples of structure. I can also help answer some of the general questions you might have about what opportunities are available, especially when it comes to leveraging cash contributions for business development and for political influence. These are two areas that I have experience in, and I found that they can be very productive. Without going into details, McKenzie Scott is essentially a divorcee with a lot of cash and a lot of influence, and there'll definitely be an opportunity for her to go out to dinners and meet new people and gain positive publicity by giving away $1 billion a day. Good or bad, it's really neutral. It doesn't really matter why she's giving it away. She's giving it away for her reasons. But if you go do a Google search right now, you're going to find all over these billionaires are giving away their money and ending up on the front page of newspapers, being invited to events. Every person who's running a charity wants some of those dollars, and they're going to raise their hand and say, look, I heard you're giving away $1 billion a month. We can do all these things for you. We can give you publicity. Very often she will get 4 or 5 times the value of that $1 billion in the charitable organization rather than in her pocket, and the money will come back easily. Again, I don't have any intimate details about this situation. These no string attached contributions, it says she's been working from 6,000 organizations down to about 384 organizations she's contributing to. So that's evidence that there is this vetting process, which again is a great means of contact, is a great means of business development. And then ultimately, there is a trust in this means. So again, it drives traffic to a blog, it drives publicity, it drives much more, but you don't have to be in the public to give away like this. You don't have to stand out to benefit from charitable contributions, and we can certainly answer a lot of questions in that area as well. My name's Justin Hitt with Sustainable Wealth Secrets, and it sounds strange that giving away all the money you have can actually get you all the money you want. And there's some nuances to it, but the key is you do it for your reasons. What are your goals? What position do you want to be in 5 to 10 years? And what would you like to see happen? Money very often can shortcut these outcomes that you desire, and we can help you do that. Thanks for listening. I'm Justin Hitt with Sustainable Wealth Secrets. Visit www.sustainablewealthsecrets.com to ask your questions. I look forward to hearing your success stories, your ideas, and questions. Again, I'm here to help high-income professionals, high-net-worth individuals to transform income into wealth for your reasons. Thanks for listening.